Hello and welcome to a behind-the-scenes look of the live-to-film performances for The Empire Strikes Back. I recently had the great opportunity to conduct two performances with the wonderful Royal Scottish National Orchestra of John Williams' iconic score, which, believe it or not, is 45 years old. The film runs just over 2 hours, and music fills almost every frame. So I quickly realized I was conducting something much more like an opera. There's an overture, there's an entr'acte, which is music between the two acts of the film, and most importantly, the music drives the narrative of the whole film. It punctuates the drama. Great themes return to signpost each character, each battle, and each mood. The music makes the characters tragic and makes them heroic. It makes them comic, or it makes them threatening, or it makes them romantic. There's a handful of themes that hold the whole film together, and they've become known the world over. There's the magnificent Star Wars theme. The unstoppable Imperial March. A heart-rending romantic theme. And several others that populate the film like so many of the characters. The first question I'm almost always asked is, how do you keep in sync with the film when you're conducting this massive orchestra? Most films today are recorded using a click track, which is simply a metronome that we follow. And once the recording is done, it allows the film's editors to synchronize the music with the film in very minute detail. Now, in the early days of film recording, which is where John Williams learned his craft, composers would often conduct the orchestra directly to the film. That is to say, watching the film. There wouldn't be any click track. They'd just have an old-fashioned clock that told them when to start and when to stop the cue. And it was up to them to sort of push and pull the music so that it coordinated and emphasized a kiss or a battle or a fight or a chase. Things we call hit points. Now, John Williams didn't record The Empire Strikes Back using a click track, but he used the old-fashioned method of scoring directly to film, and for me, that gave me a much better idea of his mastery of film composition, because the music fits the film like a glove. It drives the narrative, it anticipates conflict and resolves it with a mastery and a musical imagination that is unbelievable. So leading up to this point is a lot of preparation. There's so much great music in this score that I basically take it to the piano and I prepare it like I would any symphony or opera. And I mark up my score with these colored pencils so that it ends up looking a bit like a child's coloring book. When I get a better understanding of the structure and all the material that John Williams has put into this magnificent score, I start to look at the film and all the more mechanical things I need to do. When to start and stop the film, when to change tempo, and allowing times between scenes so that I don't upstage the drama by introducing themes either too soon or too late. Now, this is what it looks like. These lines which pass from left to right we call streamers, and they tell me where I need to be to catch important moments in the film. And I have a bar count in that upper right-hand corner, which tells me which bar I'm supposed to be in and which beat in each bar I'm supposed to be in. Now, I try to stay with them, but there's a lot of liberty in this, and I think that taking the liberty rather than mechanically following the bar count gives the performance much more life and freedom. I can sometimes convince myself that the film is following me rather than the reverse. Now, this music puts great demands on the orchestra, not least because John Williams writes so brilliantly for each section of the orchestra, for the strings, for the winds and percussion, and especially for the brass. But also because this score was never meant to be performed live. It was recorded over a period of like 2 weeks, whereas we have 2 3-hour rehearsals the day before the show, then a dress rehearsal on the day, In the evening, off we go. And I'm very happy to report that both performances were received wonderfully with standing ovations from an audience who I would guess about 95% of them have never heard a symphony orchestra live. And they certainly got a great introduction to what an orchestra can do. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.